Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Pittsburgh Steelers report card, defensive line shines, but how good was Justin Fields? The Pittsburgh Steelers won just like how everyone thought they would win. They turned their battle with the Atlanta Falcons into a mud fest, with an 18-10 score being the final. Pittsburgh still has not found the end zone, but 6 Chris Boswell field goals were more than enough to secure the win. So, how did each position room do? Let's break it down. Quarterback, C+ with Russell Wilson out, the Steelers turned to former first-round pick Justin Fields, a dynamic player with bad tendencies. For the most part, the Steelers toned down those tendencies. But there were a few reasons his report card is not better. For one, he too fumbled exchanges. These go on center Zach Frazier and Fields. 2. Fields was late on some passes and missed some reads. His accuracy was only okay, too. However, he did what he needed to do, make smart decisions with the football. At no point did it ever feel like he was in danger of throwing an interception. Fields used his legs in the right moments to create plays that were otherwise not there, and the team sustained drives. In other words, he was fine and led the Steelers to victory in this game. He could have been better, but this will get the Steelers by on days like this. Running back, the Steelers' running backs did not do much, but this grade will primarily go toward Najee Harris. He had one bad drop, but aside from that, he ran hard and was efficient. Harris ended the game with 20 carries for 70 yards, but was the lifeblood behind the fourth-quarter surge that ate up lots of clocks in the run game. Jaylen Warren and Cordarrelle Patterson were fine, but Warren was limited by his hamstring injury. Harris ran hard, though, and that is what puts this grade where it is. Wide receiver, B+ George Pickens is the sole reason this grade is high. Outside of him, there is not much to buzz about. However, they have a B+ because of Scotty Miller and Ben Skowronek's special teams contributions. Miller was key in helping to win the game, acting as the backup holder and making an excellent tackle on Chris Boswell's punt after coming in for the injured Johnston. You could probably give this unit a C or D+ for actual wide receiver play outside of Pickens. They did not separate much and did not stick out. Pickens looked like a WR1 for 2 maddening moments, and that is not including the offensive pass interference, which felt soft. Tight ends, the tight ends had a good game. For one, there were no edge rushers that took over the game. The Steelers gave some help to Dan Moore Jr. and Broderick Jones against Matt Judon. Each tight end did something noteworthy. Michael Pruitt had 2 catches. Pat Freiermuth made a few catches and moved the chains. Connor Hayward had a key block on the QB counter to ice the game. Darnell Washington blocked his behind off. Overall, very solid day. Offensive line, B. The Steelers' offensive line played well in some aspects. Like Fields, this grade is hurt by the fumbles between him and Frazier. I assign 50% of the blame to both. Also, some of their short yardage failures are something they need to go back on and look at, too. Spencer Anderson was solid as a spot starter. That is what they needed. The rest of the unit was okay. It was not a dominant performance, but they did what was needed and flashed some growth potential. Defensive line and outside linebackers, A+. I'll throw the outside linebackers in here because they work as a tandem. Wow, did these guys shine? TJ Watt took over the game when Falcons head coach Raheem Morris said he would not let that happen. Larry Ogunjobi had one of his best games in a Steelers uniform, racking up 2 quarterback hits and forcing an interception. Keanu Benton looked great. Cam Hayward made some key run stuff, and it looks like he has some left in the tank. Montravius Adams gave quality reps off the bench. Overall, not sure how you can be disappointed in this group. They were stars. Inside linebackers, each of the three in the rotation had a play or two that they would want back, including a few missed tackles. So, that dings this a bit. However, Peyton Wilson played well in his debut and Patrick Queen looked to be everything the Steelers wanted when they signed him to a new deal. Elandon Roberts is as steady as ever. A solid day for these guys. Next, Pittsburgh Steelers opponent sets historically bad NFL record in poor debut. After a win in Atlanta by the Pittsburgh Steelers, they will now have a trip to Denver waiting for them as they face a young Denver Broncos team. While the top storyline of the week will be the return of quarterback Russell Wilson, who might not even play in the game, the Broncos have plenty to worry about themselves. Starting as a rookie quarterback, it appeared that first-round pick Bo Nix was ready after a strong preseason. Broncos head coach Sean Payton easily named him the starter, but Nix struggled greatly in his debut against the Seattle Seahawks and an impressive defense. In 42 passing attempts, Nix completed 26 of those passes for just 138 yards, by far the fewest passing yards in an NFL game with more than 25 completions. Nix smashed a record once held by Keith Null from 2009 when Null completed 28 passes for 165 yards. If the yardage were the only issue, the Broncos could get by with Nix, but he appeared inaccurate and indecisive. That led to Nix throwing 2 interceptions on top of that horrid stat line. He did not throw a touchdown all game. Historically, Mike Tomlin has done well against rookie quarterbacks. Nix can be decisive and solid when he has things together, but he has struggled to find any bit of consistency through his first 4 quarters in the NFL. Now, a talented Steelers defense awaits as the next test. Steelers P. Cameron Johnston sustains serious injury versus Falcons. Pittsburgh punter Cameron Johnston sustained a serious right knee injury in Sunday's 18-10 season-opening victory over the host Atlanta Falcons, Steelers coach Mike Tomlin said after the game. Johnston, who will have an MRI on Monday to determine the severity of his injury, was hurt with 3:40 left in the fourth quarter when he was run into by a Falcons defender. A holding penalty on Pittsburgh led to a new 4th down, with kicker Chris Boswell stepping in and booting a 43-yard punt. Cam Johnston appears to have a serious injury. "I'll have an update for you next time we come together," Tomlin said at a post-game press conference. "It's a shame for him. This guy has been spectacular through team development. He's an absolute stud. Not only in his talents, but his approach to business. My heart goes out to him." In the season opener, Johnston punted twice for 103 yards, a 51.5-yard average, including one inside the 20. A native of Australia, Johnston, 32, played 95 games for the Philadelphia Eagles, 2018-20, and Houston Texans, 2021-23, before signing a 3-year, $9 million contract with the Steelers. He totaled 445 punts and averaged 47.3 yards, placing 182 inside the 20. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Cameron Johnston? Leave your opinion in the comments.